Speier for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection, the gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, thank you. I rise again today to highlight the epidemic of rape and sexual assault in the military. You know, this issue was recently brought up on Fox News by a commentator who ignorantly declared that women who joined the military should expect to be raped. Yes, believe it or not, this was what the commentator said. I don't think our women choose to enlist in the military with the expectation that they might get raped. This morning I'm going to tell you the story of U.S. Marine Stephanie Schroeder, who was raped in a public restroom by a fellow Marine. He shoved her down, beat her, and forced her on her back. He ripped down her pants and raped her. Then he ejaculated on her in her thigh and spit on her. Private Schroeder reported the rape to command. Her commander laughed at her and said, "Don't come blanking to me who had sex and changed your mind." Don't come blanking to me? That's the response that was given to Private Schroeder. That was her leader, that was her commander saying that to her. Instead of helping her, her commander called her a liar and restricted her from seeking medical help or any type of counseling. And what's worse is that her commander did nothing illegal. The military judicial system allows commanders complete discretion for handling cases of rape and sexual assault. To the current standard of justice, the commander did absolutely nothing wrong. This story is one of thousands that happens during the military every year. By the Department of Defense's own statistics, 19,000 men and women are sexually assaulted or raped in the military every year. This is not a secret. Congress and the D.o.d. have worked on this issue for a quarter of a century, but very little has changed. The issue has been treated like a game of tag. Congress calls a hearing and then tag. D.o.d. submits a report. Then tag. Congress has a hearing, then tag. D.o.d. has a press conference about a new report. The game goes on, but no real changes actually occur. Well, I have my own game. It's called Truth or Dare. First, truth. The women in our military are more likely to be raped or assaulted by colleagues than they are to be killed by the enemy. Truth. Only 13.5% of victims report the crime. Truth. Only 8% of the cases are actually prosecuted. Truth. The sole arbiters of reports of assault and commanders who decide which rapists are punished and will go free are, in fact, the commanders. And now there's a dare. I dare the Department of Defense to create a better, fairer process for handling rapes and sexual assaults. Instead of continuing a system that punishes victims and sweeps sexual offenses under the rug, I dare the Department of Defense to create an impartial office to review and handle these cases with experts in prosecution and investigation. So what actually happened to Sergeant Schroeder? Well, she got transferred away from her rapist to a new duty location. Prior to her arrival, her command called and told her new supervisors that she was, quote, a troublemaker. 2 weeks after the transfer, her new superior made a pass at her. She refused to have sex with him, and he retaliated by publicly harassing her at work. When she contracted pink eye, he asked her in front of a formation if she let a guy ejaculate in her eye. She reported the harassment to command. Nothing happened. A month later, she awoke to the same supervisor sexually assaulting her. Again, she reported to her command. This time, the command took action against Private Schroeder. She was disciplined for having a man in her room. Private Schroeder, the victim of sexual assault, was punished after a sex offender broke into her room and harmed her. Private Schroeder learned not to report crimes committed against her, so 6 months later, when she was sexually assaulted again by a Marine in a truck, she told no one how he attempted to have sex with her, or how, when she refused, he began to masturbate in front of her and locked the doors so she could not leave. He said, "Show me your tits and help me masturbate, and you masturbate for me." This is outrageous conduct that should not be allowed in our military. For now, victims of rape and sexual assault must follow the chain of command, even if their commanding officer chooses to ignore the problem. We need to overhaul this system. I've introduced H.R. 3435, the STOP Act, that would take these cases out of the chain of command and create an office in the military that will handle them. I yield back.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.